My name is Matt, and welcome to This Week at the Movies. For the first weekend in December, we have quite a set of films to look at. Going to be looking at the latest from Netflix, as well as a couple of films you might be able to find in theaters this week. It was a big, long Thanksgiving weekend. A lot of things were out last weekend, probably still a lot of options to be catching up on. But maybe you were away and you just need some time to chill at home. Well, that is great because the biggest release for me this weekend is the Netflix film Jay Kelly. If you've seen, it's already started collecting nominations. It was in the Critics' Choice nomination announcement. It was among the Gotham Award announcements. It's been all over the place and could be one of the films that maybe has a good shot to get a Best Picture or maybe some other big awards for Netflix. This film comes from Noah Baumbach, who co-wrote it with Emily Mortimer and directed this film. It centers on a famous movie actor named Jay Kelly, played by George Clooney, who is coming near the twilight of his career, and a lot of things have started to make him reflect on his life and his life away from movies. His mentor, one of the directors that helped him break in, played by Jim Broadbent, passes away. He starts to think about that, especially after attending a funeral where he hears some things said by the man's son that give him pause, that make him think about his own life. Then he connects with a former acting student friend who he hadn't seen in a long time, played by Billy Crudup, who also makes him reflect and start putting his life in focus. And that causes him to go on a little bit of a spiral, to head to Europe to trace one of his kids, to try to have more of a father-daughter relationship. We also see some flashbacks about his early life and career, moments in his life that he wants to reflect on, things like that. And all along the way is his faithful agent, played by Adam Sandler, who is trying to keep things on track, trying to be a friend, trying to understand what's happening. And you kind of go on this beautiful, poignant, and cathartic journey. We have seen Baumbach do a lot of films for Netflix in recent years. I loved Marriage Story when it came out in 2019, was one of my favorite films that year. I didn't connect as much with White Noise, which came out a few years ago based on the Don DeLillo book, but I really like this one. Again, this is up in my top 10 films of the year. I think George Clooney is very good in this role. There are some moments that really resonate emotionally, especially in this third act. It has some real gut punches, some beautiful sequences, just some beautiful performances, a great supporting cast. Mortimer pops up, so does Laura Dern, so does Riley Keough. There are just a number of people that pop up in this film, but it is mostly about George Clooney and Adam Sandler and their kind of friendship back and forth, their kind of parallel journeys with the way they try to prioritize family and mix it with career. So this one, a big thumbs up from me. I think this is really great, worth seeing. It had a little bit of a limited release last couple of weeks, but opened on Netflix to stream today, so that is worth checking out. But if you do want to go to the big screen and, a horror movie or broad comedy, which are kind of the bigger wide releases, aren't for you, there is another option, especially if you are a theater fan. This week, Sony Pictures Classic is putting Merrily We Roll Along in theaters. This is a filmed version of the stage production of Merrily We Roll Along, which features Daniel Radcliffe and Jonathan Groff in two of the lead roles. They are both very good. Lindsay Mendez plays kind of the third of the trio of main characters, Mary. This is the Stephen Sondheim musical that was written by George Firth. It's been a staple on Broadway for a long time. It essentially follows a couple of decades in the life and friendship of these three people, but it is told in reverse. We start in 1977 and work our way all the way back. This, as I mentioned, was a filmed version of one of their stage productions. Some really great performances, some great musical numbers, some great effects. I really enjoyed Groff and Daniel Radcliffe in these roles. I think it is worth checking out. I'm giving this one a mild thumbs up. There are the limitations that you always have when you have filmed something that was a stage production, try to put it in theaters. You don't get that stage energy exactly. But for a lot of us that don't have ready access to Broadway or to really quality stage productions like this, it is kind of fun when they are able to film them and you feel like you get to be a part of it. And I certainly felt that with Merrily We Roll Along. So that is a theatrical offering this week. There's also another theatrical offering that is in limited release before it gets released on IFC a little bit later, and that is the original film 100 Nights of Here. This one is based on the graphic novel from Isabella Greenberg. It was written and directed by Julia Jackman, and it's definitely something of a fairy tale kind of feeling. It has a pretty great cast, as you can see. Some of the lead women in here: Emma Corrin and Micah Monroe, who are on either side of Felicity Jones. They are basically the main characters, but we end up following Cherry, played by Micah Monroe, who is a young woman who has been married to Jerome, played by Amir Al-Masri. And basically the whole purpose of women here is to be a good spouse and to help provide heirs. And even though it was a great match with a good man, she hasn't produced an heir yet. And that has brought her under a little bit of the focus of the Birdmen, who help run things in this area. The chief among them, Richard E. Grant, playing the chief Birdman. She's attended to by her faithful maid, Hero, played by Emma Corrin. And when a mysterious stranger shows up at their castle, one of Jerome's friends, Manfred, played by Nicholas Galitzin, turns out Jerome maybe doesn't have the greatest interest in Cherry, and that might be part of the problem, but he believes in her faithfulness and loyalty. Manfred makes a bet that he can bring her down, that he can manage to seduce her, and he's given 100 nights to try. Hero, meanwhile, uses her great skill as a storyteller to distract them along the way to try to help protect Cherry and her virtue. There is a story within a story that goes on here that is a little bit of fun that you're following along with. Kind of a madcap romp. Charlie XCX is the main focus of the story within the story, playing a character named Rosa. So that's a little bit of fun. I like the cast here. I liked a lot of the world building. The story a little bit slower than I would have liked at times. Doesn't quite move in the directions that I was hoping for. I still had fun with it. You know, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm going to give it kind of a mild thumbs up. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's fun for what it is. And if you're looking for something different and something that gets you out of the holiday season, this is one worth trying. Again, playing in limited release, will come out later, I believe, on IFC. So that is a look at the movies this week. Next week, another loaded week. We'll have the latest Knives Out mystery from Rian Johnson, as well as the latest from James L. Brooks, Ella McKay, which is a big theatrical release next week. So until then, I will see you at the movies.